we looking for?
We're just looking for them when we go to comic book store.
Today I'm going to give away a free t-shirt, bring you a Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown fight, bring you comics news, reveal the books I bought this week, and, if I screw up, a blooper reel. How y'all doing? I'm Victor, and you are watching the Comic Hero Show. Now kick that logo! Welcome to this week's edition of the Comic Hero Show. I'm your host, Victor Nunley, and I am the Comic Hero. Coming to you from Southern Realms Comics and Games here in Ruston, Louisiana. I want to thank everyone who reached out to me after what happened last weekend. I was driving my van, or the previous vehicle that I drove, and I ended up, the engine started getting hot, and I had to fork over quite a bit of money to do it, and then had to get my mom to come get me and everything. And the only thing that I came to Southern Realms last Saturday, but the only thing that I was able to do was buy comics. And I tried to do episode a lot sooner, episode 204 a lot sooner, but due to my work schedule, I had to resort to doing it only 2 days ago. But episode 204 is up. So if you're watching this and you haven't watched episode 204, stop! Watch episode 204 first, then this episode. You know what? I just decided that because I just had got it, because episode 204 hasn't been up for a full day, I'm going to extend the I'm going to extend the deadline for a free team for episode 206, because a lot of folks there are some folks who watch this show who don't follow me on social media, and everyone who follows me on social media knows that I post links to every episode, and then I also post the free tea question of the week. So I'm gonna consider that. But here's the question again: true or false? The original lineup of the Teen Titans consisted of Robin, Kid Flash, Wonder Girl, and Aqualad. Everyone who answers correctly will be in the drawing for a free tea in next week's episode. Oh, by the way, got a new ride. It's a 2016 Chevy Cruze LT. I'm very blessed to got that, not because I finally have a car again, but because it's my first new car. But anyway, now that I've decided that I'm not gonna give away a free tea in this episode, let's move on. Our very own Anthony Benoit has requested a Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown fight, and this features two DC characters, one who's fast and one who will take a bow and arrow and shoot just about anything and not miss. Representing DC, we have the Flash, and also representing DC, we have Green Arrow. These two are gonna duke it out in a segment,
The Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown.
Welcome to the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. Today, it's the Flash versus Green Arrow. The Flash possesses immense superhuman speed, agility, and stamina, electrokinesis, body vibration to phase through objects, time travel, and dimensional travel via cosmic treadmill, and speed and time force manipulation. Green Arrow is an expert archer and a skilled hand-to-hand combatant who utilizes high-tech equipment, compound bow, and various types of arrows. Who will win? Green Arrow is well aware how fast the Flash is. He's also well aware that speed kills. The Flash tries to end the fight quickly by running in circles around Green Arrow, thus creating a vortex. Green Arrow begins to suffocate, but remains coherent enough to grab an arrow and stab the Flash in the knee with it. Green Arrow wins. But wait! Hours after the fight ends, the Flash quickly heals from his injury and goes back only seconds before Green Arrow stabs him in the knee. Instead of just creating a vortex, he runs in circles around Green Arrow and manipulates a bolt of lightning strong enough to temporarily debilitate him. The Flash wins, and that concludes this fight on the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. Alright, well I hope you enjoyed that fight. If you have fight requests for future episodes, contact info is down there. Alright then, it's time for Comically Speaking, so without further ado, let's talk All right, I'm only going to talk about one thing in this segment of comic speaking, and that's Marvel 2018: A Fresh Start. Now, later on this summer, there are going to be a bevy of new writers and artists on new books, and they're going to be taking these books into new directions. And you know what? I'm not going to really say much. I'm going to let the video do the talking. Take a look.
I can say, walking through these halls, I've never seen more enthusiasm and more excitement for where Marvel Comics is going this year. Not since Marvel Now have we had such an overarching line-wide change of talent on the Marvel Comics line.
New fresh ideas, new fresh creators really are taking that perspective, which is if you haven't read a comic before, if you're an old lapsed fan and you want to come back, it's a perfect opportunity to do it because these stories, as I say, they start at start and they're great jumping off points.
All right, now that sounds all great and everything. I mean, I'm all for, new creative teams, new directions, new story arcs and all that. But my only thing that I'm a little bothered by is the fact that Marvel is renumbering a lot of these books. And Captain America's getting renumbered, Thor's getting renumbered, Avengers getting renumbered, Black Panther's getting renumbered, Amazing Spider-Man's getting renumbered. Is it me? I mean, am I dreaming, or did Marvel just renumber a lot of these books after Marvel Legacy? Huh?
3 months ago.
Yeah. They just renumbered these books, and now they're going to, not renumbered. They just return these books to original numberings. I mean, Amazing Spider-Man returned to its original numbering. Avengers returned to its original numbering. Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, Black Panther, all the Spider-Man, the Miles Morales Spider-Man, by the way. All those have returned to their original numberings, and yet Marvel, now that they think, okay, we want to go a new direction, new story arcs, new characters, new this, new that. But I don't really agree with them renumbering the books. I mean, that's like building a house and then tearing it down about 6 months later. It just doesn't make any sense. Now, whenever Marvel returns a book to its, any publication returns a book to its original numbering, that's a very honorable thing to do. But then when you do that, and then later on you renumber the book and start a brand new volume, that doesn't make any sense at all. I mean, Marvel's been doing this a lot for probably the last 15 years. I mean, when the new issue of the new volume of Captain America comes out this summer, it's probably gonna be like what, volume 10? I mean, here's my thing. At least when after Rebirth, DC when they returned Action Comics and Detective Comics to their original numberings, they stuck with it. And that was the right thing to do mainly because those are the two oldest books in print. But then, if they were to, and I can guarantee you that if they were to return any other book like The Flash, Green Lantern, or Justice League, or Wonder Woman, or Teen Titans, or anything like that to their original numberings, I believe they would be very stick-to-itive about it. But Marvel, they have ever since they've been on top in terms of the cinematic universe, and then what comes on the small screen and on Netflix and everything, to me it seems like they rely on that division and then just do whatever the heck they want in their comics division. When you own, or when you're part of a company like Marvel, you can't just be successful in one division or be successful in one division and then be shabby in the rest. Because when it comes to the comics division of Marvel for the last few years, especially for the last decade, they've been doing absolutely nothing but making irrational decisions. I mean, it all got started. Well, one of the irrational decisions, I still believe, even though they brought him back, was kill off Wolverine. And then another irrational decision that they made, and to this day, I will defend. I will stand by what my opinion on this is. Kill off War Machine in the very first issue of Civil War II. War Machine was not a weak link. And I'm not saying that because I'm a black man and the character War Machine, Colonel James Rhodes, was a black character. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that because he just wasn't a weak link. I mean, there were times when Tony Stark was at his lowest, and then he had to heed the call and become Iron Man before he went on his own as War Machine. I know that some characters have to die, but I know there are characters. Comic book characters have to die just like human beings do, but you have to be very careful with that. And then there are other things that Marvel's done. A lot of other irrational decisions they made. I'm not going to get into that, but I'm saying that to say this: when you return a book to its original numbering, and then a few months later, you think, okay, let's bring in some new creative teams. Let's go a different direction. I really don't believe you need to renumber the books. That's almost like saying that you're not satisfied with what was, and you decide to tear it down. That, folks, is insanity. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result each time. I mean, but of course that's just my opinion. But that's what I think. But at the same time, there are folks that share my sentiment.
Wow.
But Marvel, think about what you do before you do it.
Chocolate or strawberry or vanilla? No.
That's all I'm asking. All right, that's it for Comically Speaking.
Here it is.
Now then, let's get to the comics I bought this week.
Comic books I bought this week.
All right, I'm not going to give a brief description of each book. I'm just going to let you know what they are. First up is Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps, number 39.
Is it the same breed?
Wonder Woman, number 41.
Oh, okay.
Action Comics, number 998. X-Men Blue, number 22. Spider-Gwen, number 29. Peter Parker, The Spectacular Spider-Man, number 300. The Flash, number 41. And finally, and I'm so excited that I finally getting a hand on this one, X-Men Red, number 1. All right, that's 8 I bought, which brings the total number of comics that I bought since December of 1997 to 8,571. All right, well, I hope you all enjoyed this week's episode. And here's the question for our free tea for next week's episode of the show. True or false? The original lineup of the Teen Titans consisted of Robin, Kid Flash, Wonder Girl, and Aqualad. Everyone who answers correctly will be entered in a drawing for a free tea in next week's episode of the show. All right, it's birthday time here on the Comic Hero Show, and happy birthday to Derek Wesley, Adam Hodge, Caitlin Loyacano, James Red Hodge, Will Stroud, Angelique Ducote, Nick Faith, Alicia Coleman, Majuk Deng, Keith Beard, Calandra Wright, Courtney Emerson, Jeffrey Mitchell, Deasia Washington, Charlie Tabor, Tiffany Reeves, Nina Norton, and a very special happy birthday to a little girl who was just born 5 days ago, Eliza Catherine Brasher. And you know, I want to congratulate her parents, Hillary and Russ, on her arrival. And baby Ren, I know I already did this before when I posted on your mom's page, but I hereby knight you a little comic hero.
From the picnic baskets.
Welcome to the world. And also happy anniversary to two of my friends. Happy 10th wedding anniversary to Elizabeth and Andrew Bolton from Bossier City, Louisiana. All right, really had a lot of fun with this episode. Can't wait to do it again. And you know, I say that all the time. But one segment I want to bring back that I haven't done in over a year, and that's any questions. And it's where I ask and answer on air questions from y'all. But please, no tasteless questions. And let it be somewhere within the realm of comics or anything in that matter. And somebody's coming out of the restroom.
He should have listened. He's about to edit that out.
No, I'm not editing that out.
Yes, he is. Guess what? You're famous.
No, I'm pretty sure I'm not famous.
And
Yep, no.
this is why I love doing this, doing the show over here at Southern Realms. There's never a dull moment.
Oh, we're by bathroom
Never.
in the corner.
Yeah.
Not like the bathroom. Great place. You can hear all the toilet flushes.
Okay, I'm going to end this before it gets even more out of hand. I'm Victor Nelly on the Comic here, and I'll see you next week for episode 206. Right back here at Southern Realms Comics and Games. So until then, be safe, be blessed, be a hero! Welcome to this week's edition of the Comic Hero Show. I'm your host, Victor Nunley, and I am the comic. That's the first blooper. Peter Brady syndrome. All right, I'm only going to talk about one thing in this segment of Comically Speaking, and that's Marvel 2018, A New Start. Now, in June, Marvel are... Oh, shit. All right, I'm not going to give a brief description of each book. I'm just going to let you know what they are. First up is Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern. Okay, I need to do that again. That's 3.
You gotta do all these glamour shots.
He-Man. Glamour shot. If you need a sword, I got one. You can do the He-Man pose. Come on, that'd be a new one.
This is all on camera.
That's okay. That's just edit. Sorry. We don't have live. This isn't a live feed.
I know it isn't.
You'd never let it go out.
But you do know it's all on camera, so all we have to do is push that button and we can send out the broadcast.
You know what? I'm going to. No, here's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to edit this out, but I'm going to split this and put this in a blooper reel. So that's number 4.
Come on, go for 5.
Can we hear 5?
All right.
That guy's making it a blooper reel.